What's the most essential part of a magical practice? Is it the paraphernalia? Making sure that you're creating everything from scratch, chiseling away at wood when wood carving is something you've never attempted before, or sourcing hazelwood from Aleister Crowley's own garden to fashion the most exquisite wand that anyone has ever seen? Or is it that the lineage of your practice can be traced back all the way till before 1970, the 7th century? Everybody knows that the oldest practice is the best practice, right? Or is it the initiation? Is it the way in which you were introduced to the magical practice which matters most? Joining the right group of people who have the best magic surely makes a difference to your practice. Or is it reading the right books and ensuring that you got first editions of all the most important books that have ever been written, especially the ones that were written at the turn of 19th and 20th century, right? Those really rare ones, but not so rare that you can't get your hands on them. Just rare enough to make you poor when you do. Or is it your skill with energy work? The way that you work with energy, your ability to transmute one type of energy into another, how well you've studied the subtle anatomy of the human being and how energy works within that subtle body so that you can generate more and release it into the right places? Or is it about getting in touch with the right spirits? Surely the most powerful spirits will give you access to the most powerful magic. In the same way as when you meet the most powerful human beings, they always empower you with the most powerful jobs, such as running to go and get them coffee and shining their shoes. Well, speaking of jobs, let me use a little analogy to talk about what I believe to be the most essential aspect of any magical practice. And whether you're into Asatru or the Greco-Egyptian magical papyri, or 19th century lodge magic, or chaos magic, regardless of where you're coming from or where you're going, this one practice changes everything. There's nothing revolutionary about this, and many of you hearing this will probably go, oh, this again. Well, here's my analogy. When you're applying for a job, you go to an interview. And in the process of preparing for that interview, you're going to do many things. You're going to find out about the company. You're going to brush up on the latest trends within that industry. You're going to ensure that your portfolio is up to date. And you're going to make sure that your LinkedIn account looks really impeccable. All of these elements are essential for a positive outcome for your interview. But there is one thing that if you don't do it, then there's no point in having the interview. It's getting dressed. Yes, you can wear a fancy suit or you can get dressed however you like. The point is, if you don't get dressed, there's no point in going for the interview. Meditation is to successful magic what getting dressed is to passing a successful interview. It's so essential that most people forget to mention it. What are you talking about? Meditation. What kind of meditation? I meditate on the divine names. It's actually one of the practices that I do, but I don't need to do that every day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just straight up mindfulness meditation. The most basic, simple form of meditation there is. I don't need to do mindfulness meditation. I do all kinds of very convoluted meditations. No. Mindfulness meditation is what I'm talking about. The simple practice of observing your breath and nothing else. Observing your breath, but that's boring. It's beginner's stuff. It's precisely because it's boring that it's so powerful. The number one tool that we magicians work with is our mind. And if our mind doesn't do what we want it to do, then what's the point in even trying to make magic? Mindfulness meditation is the process of daily getting your mind to do what you tell it to do. Your breath is something that is always with you from the day you're born to the day you die. There is never a moment, at least not an extended one, where your breath is not right there with you, ready for you to concentrate on it. And this is very convenient because it means you don't have to be in a particular place. You don't have to select a particular time in your day. Whenever there's a moment where you have more than 5 seconds, you can meditate. A 6-second meditation is a meditation. A 5-second meditation is a meditation. The point of the meditation is not how long it is the fact that you do it. So for those of you who don't know, how does mindfulness meditation work? Well, step 1 is that you remember that you should do it. So then you start. And what you do is that you observe your breath. And whenever your mind starts wandering off to whatever the conversation at the water cooler might be, you bring your concentration back to your breath. And you do it for as long as is comfortable, as long as is possible, as long as something else doesn't come in and mess the whole thing up. And the first time you do it, you'll do it for maybe 5 seconds. And the second time you do it, you might do it for 7 seconds. And then the third time you do it, you might be able to extend it to a minute or even 2 minutes, and so on and so forth. The point is not to get to an incredibly long time, although some people do get to those incredibly long times, and they're actually the ones who really notice huge differences in their lives. But starting small is not just acceptable, it's required. If you've not done any exercise for years and years and years, and suddenly you decide that you want to get fit, you want to get into shape, you don't start hitting the gym on day one and start lifting weights. No, you start walking around, right? You start stretching and doing these kinds of things, small steps. And then when you've been doing that for maybe 2 or 3 days, then maybe you'll go to the gym and you'll start with some light weights, you'll start with a very short run, etc. And then you build up that strength, and then you're able to push more weight and you're able to build more muscle. But you need muscle in order to then build up more muscle. And in the same way, when you're meditating, you need that basis of doing short, very short meditations to then build that up to the point where you're doing 5-minute meditations, 10-minute meditations, half-an-hour meditations, and even 1-2 hour meditations. Right, that's not expected. That's not what I'm talking about, an essential part of magical practice. I'm not talking about a 1-hour meditation as an essential part of a magical practice, but I am talking about a daily practice of 5-10 minutes once you've built up the ability to concentrate on your breathing and nothing but your breathing for 5-10 minutes at a time. It's an endurance practice, and the more you do it, the more you can do it. So then when you're actually performing your magic, when you're in the circle, say, if you're using a circle, and you're asking a specific entity to appear before you, you're not having to bring your mind back from thinking about a shopping list. Whenever you're telling a particular entity what you are hoping to achieve, you have your mind entirely on the task and nothing but the task. And you're not off thinking about a bad argument that you had the day before, which can really mess up your ritual, because then the entity gets mixed messages and starts doing things that you weren't expecting it to do. The mind of the magician has to be sharp. It has to be able to do what the magician wants it to do, and to be doing nothing else at the same time. So if you do nothing else, meditate. You don't need a meditation cushion. You don't need to go to a meditation retreat. You're sitting in your car, you're waiting for the red light to turn to green. Meditate. You've got 20 seconds. Meditate. You're in the shop, you're in a queue, you're waiting to pay, and you know that there are 3 people ahead of you. Meditate. You're in a low coverage area and Facebook is taking 5 seconds longer than usual to load. Meditate. You don't need to make time for this. The time is built into your day. It's already there. You don't have to free up time. Just insert meditation whenever there's a moment, because a moment's meditation is better than no meditation. There we are. It's a short one this week. What are your thoughts? Do you meditate? Do you agree with me on the importance of meditation? Leave a comment down below. I'd be fascinated to know what you think. And also, if you struggle with meditation or you're looking for tips, leave a comment below as well. Maybe other viewers have got some tips for you. And if you do have tips for other people, don't forget to leave those as a comment as well. A big shout out to thank all the members from Patreon and from the YouTube memberships. Thank you so much. Without your support, this channel would definitely be gone a long time ago. Really appreciate your support. And in particular, the Level Infinity members, David Venturini, Caitlin Kopok, Aritz Murueta Ramos, heckabooks.com.au, Howard Wolf, Linda Hendricks, Stephen Hunter, and Susanna Red Elves. Thank you very, very much for your support. And to all the level 3 members whose names you can see scrolling up on the left over here. Membership starts at just $2 a month and gives you access to the Foolish Fish Discord, which has over 300 different channels covering lots of different topics regarding magic. And of course you get to interact with other like-minded people who are also interested in magic. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that you don't miss any of my videos. Take care of yourselves and of each other, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.